I'm Lucas Nelson.
And I'm Anthony LoGerfo.
We're from The Promise of the Real, and you're watching Bay Area Rocks.
You're watching Bay Area Rocks, and I'm here with Lucas Nelson and A Promise of the Real, and also Anthony, the drummer. So let's talk about the band.
Okay. What do you want to know?
I want to know how you guys got the name and how you started.
Well, I came up with the name Promise of the Real. All really based on Neil Young, because he has a song. He always talks about being real. What's that one song? Sooner or later, it all gets real. Walk on, walk on.
That's a great one.
Yeah, actually, so I was in college and I listened to Neil a lot, and I was just like, okay, so we're gonna promise. I'd like to be real, you know. I'd like to be real in the sense that, you know, just be kind of raw and human and fallible, but still, we all are doing our best and getting better and not relying on like special effects or anything. Just we are who we are, you know, and no masks or dressing up or whatever. We're just trying to be who we are. So that's kind of what we're about.
And how'd you guys meet and become a band?
We met actually at a Neil Young concert, which is ironic as well. And we have mutual friends. Alan Waddington is a friend of ours, and he knew Mickey, who plays in Luke's dad's band. And so that's how we all kind of connected through them. And Luke and Alan were going to this Neil Young show, and they invited me because they knew I liked Neil. And then that's where me and Luke met, and we really hit it off. And then before you knew it, we were jamming all the time and hanging out.
Surfing all the time.
Surfing and
Yeah.
just, you know, Luke had just come to California, so I was born and raised there, so I started taking Luke around. We started surfing it, all the breaks there, and just...
I grew up in Hawaii too, so, you know, I'd been in the water before, but not as much as when you know, because I was always playing music, so it was really kind of an exposure. We went out at midnight. I got stung by a stingray, and I didn't even care. I just like kept surfing, and we went out riding in Seal Beach and like took beers out in the pier and just like had a great time.
That was the first time actually that we went surfing, was at midnight, so it was really just kind of a fun time. And we wanted to start a band at that time, but really we couldn't. Lucas was in school still, and I was out working doing stuff, and we just we didn't really have the time to do the band. And then I don't know, about 6 months later or a year later, Lucas called me and said, you know, I'm going to be leaving school, and I'm ready to start the band. You know, we're going to go on tour in January with my dad, and the first place we're going to play is the Fillmore, and this was 2 years ago to this date right now in January.
Wow.
And it was like, and I said, okay, and I was living in Europe, working over there at the time.
I was living on this couch.
Oh, cool.
I dropped out of school, and I like kind of lived in my car for a year or so, and I just like performed on the street. We would play on the beach. We'd walk into like CVS, and he'd have some bongos at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and we'd just be playing, you know.
So how is it going on tour with B.B. King?
That was wonderful. You know, he's kind of like a grandfather figure to us. Really, we learned a lot just being out with him.
And going on Jay Leno, talk about that. How did that end up happening, and how was the experience with that?
On Jay Leno, it was like, I put it on my Facebook. I said, you know, or it was like riding. There's this break, a wave in Maui called Jaws. It's a very famous break. Big waves get 60, 70 feet sometimes. And I was like, well, going on Leno was like surfing Jaws for us, because it's like, you know, it's like this huge kind of thing, you know, you're in front of millions of people, and like it's live. At least it's taped live. You only get one taping of it. So if you Jaws is about as live as you can get. If you fall on Jaws, you know, it's not good.
Yeah, you're gonna get hurt, or people are gonna see your mistakes, or
you're gonna die. You know, if you fall on Jaws, you're dead. You know, if you surf in Jaws and you fall, sometimes you don't make it. Those guys are in pretty good shape, but you know. So, anyways, it was kind of like that. It was huge.
It was a big wave.
Big wave, yeah.
And it was
talk-
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your record. Tell me, like, how did you guys record it? Where did you record it? Who produced it? All that information.
Well, we recorded it in Pedernales Studios. This is my dad's studio down there. We produced it. We paid for it. You know, we've all been kind of self-sufficient as a band, which is really nice, So we had an engineer in there who was really good. His name's Steve Shady. And actually his daughter did the album art. She's 9 years old, and she was just painting like on a dry erase board during the sessions, and we saw it and we're like, wow. And it was that hand that was on the album, and our first sign symbol, our first logo was a hand. So it's like, it just seemed like synchronicity that she didn't know that our logo was the hand, but she had drawn this as we were doing our session. And she was like, we thought it was great, so we put it as the album art, and we had a great time over there.
We did. We had a really good time, and we were really happy that in the end, we got to produce it, because that's also, you just, what you hear is us, that's it. And we tried to do it really just in a raw state. Only recorded the songs a few times, and then we just picked the best version, and pretty much live, That's what you're hearing is a live recording. So we had a good time in there.
Yeah.
How long did it take to record?
About 18 days.
Wow, that's good.
23 songs in 18 days, and then including the mixing.
And we released, we only released 13 songs.
Yeah.
Cool. So, being the son of Willie Nelson, have you felt like pressure or anything playing guitar, like starting out, or can you tell me like how your dad has inspired you musically?
Well, yeah, he inspired me a lot. He's always been supportive, though, so I never really felt too much pressure in terms of like. I've played in his band since I was a young kid, so I've learned a lot from those guys about how to be in a band and the concept that less is more, and in terms of playing in a band, you should always know how to lay out and not play very tasty things rather than to go ahead and overplay. So there's a lot of things that I've learned from being in his band, and that I'm trying to apply to my own music too. But I never felt any pressure. It's always been a good experience. We grew up playing together, which is really special to me. So.
That's sweet. And when did you start playing drums?
I started playing when I was 10 years old, so that was 17 years ago. And I just played, around town. And I grew up in LA, so there was a lot of music going on, and started playing in a lot of bands around town and doing that whole thing. And I always just wanted to be in a band, though, with my friends and that kind of deal, in a rock band, and just go around playing music for people. And I always found it hard to really find people on that same level that want to just do it for that, and just really for the art. I think a lot of people get into this whole thing of wanting to do it for fame and fortune and all that kind of thing. And don't get me wrong, to be successful at something and be comfortable while you're doing it is awesome. It's really a great thing. But it was hard to find people that wanted to just do it for the music strictly. And then, we met, and it was really cool because it kind of came together, and I felt, we were both on that. And also the rest of the guys in the band, Tato, our percussionist, has known Lukas for about 15 years, and he comes from that same love for the music, and Corey, our bass player, same deal. He's been a friend for a long time. So.
And Corey used to play in Soundgarden, right? And
not Soundgarden. Chris Cornell's
his band.
His band.
His band after Soundgarden.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's all right. But yeah, he did. He played for them, and actually, me and Corey have known each other for about 10 years, and we had played in a bunch of bands in LA, and as session guys and that kind of deal. And then when this whole project started and we all started working together, eventually we needed a new bass player. Something happened with our other bass player, and Corey was like, got to call Corey, and we ended up jamming with him, and I'm so glad it worked out that he's in the band now, because really it feels complete. It's a band of brothers.
Great, good chemistry and everything. It sounds awesome. So you guys have been on the road for how long? And tell me a bit about touring.
Well, we've been on the road 2 years ago this month.
Sweet.
2 years this month.
Straight.
Pretty much straight. We've had probably maybe 6 months in the last 2 years off. Not even, yeah.
Maybe 3. Really, we've been complete, you know, and when we weren't touring, we would go in the studio. You know, we finish a tour, we go right in, and this album we recorded in the middle of tours.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like, I mean, to me, it doesn't feel like work, you know, honestly.
It's good.
We kind of itch to get on the road, you know.
I don't like staying anywhere for longer than 3 weeks. Is just pushing it, you know.
Tell me about the festivals you guys have played.
I played Coachella with my dad in 2007. Did Bonnaroo with him, and then we did. What did we do?
Mile High Fest.
We did the Mile High Festival.
That was a bigger one that we did, but we've done some really small kind of festivals too, more like just these organic, put on by local people. We play in Garberville and Humboldt and up in that area. Mendocino. They have a lot of festivals up there. Summer Arts Music Fest, Hemp Fest, Emerald Cup.
You were a judge, weren't you, for the Emerald Cup?
They said we were going to be, but I don't know if we were. I don't know if we were really considered judges at that place. But yeah, it was fun.
So then I guess you're pro the marijuana.
They made this jacket for me. A guy named Gino up in.
Oh, sweet.
It's got a Mendocino County there. See, and then it says homegrown on it. That's all right. And it says to legalize it on the back there.
Nice.
It's got my name inscribed in there.
Right on.
I wear it quite a bit.
Support your local farmers.
Yeah, support your local farmers, because we do farm aid and all that kind of thing.
That's sweet.
And really, yeah, that's the biggest part of it, is the farming, you know.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest reasons we are, if you would say, pro, just because, you know, it's just another way of farming hemp, you know. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and growing it outdoors, and
that's the problem too with the whole legalization.
Organic,
the legalization of it too. You know, people have to really read these laws and see what the government are trying to say, because, you know, it should be done organically and out, like Lukas said, outside, and you know, it should help local people too grow and help farms. You know, it shouldn't the government shouldn't come in and just take it over, you know, and put everybody out of business, kind of like they've done with the food industry.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what they're trying to do. And it's great for medicinal purposes also.
Right.
So you guys are coming to the Café du Nord when in March of coming up in March. What date was that?
March 20th.
March 20th. And have you ever been to the Café du Nord?
Nope.
Sweet. It's a really cute little place here in San Francisco. Cool. It's really awesome. So go check them out at the Café du Nord. And I want to thank you for your time, and thank you for letting us interview you.
You're welcome.
And
Thank you.
Tell people where they can find your music.
You can find our music on our website, promiseofthereal.com, iTunes, and Amazon. My name's spelled with a K. A lot of people get that mixed up. Lukas. So if you want to look us up, you know, Lukas Nelson, Promise of the Real. You can watch our Leno performance on Hulu.com or on the NBC website. And there's all these YouTube things you can check out too. But the YouTubes are not as quality as the stuff that we have on our own.
The best thing to do is, you know, just keep going to our website, promiseofthereal.com, because we are an organic business and we're an independent group, if you would, you know, and we do it all ourselves, and everybody.
And if you go to our website and you order our CD, then you get an actual hard copy of it with all the artwork and everything, you know. And
all the artwork inside too is done by Lukas's brother, Micah. And it's so that also is part of it. We're trying to do art and music together, and we have this community of people submitting art and photos to our website, and where we all are helping each other in growing, you know, in this artist community.
Great. So hopefully all you artists out there can also submit your art to them.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.